Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to your very own Try It Before You Buy channel with your host Karamullah Kadwani. So, today is going to be all about the Sultanate of Oman from the house of Roja Parfums. The nose behind all the fragrances with Roja Parfums is Mr. Roja himself. Before we get started though, if this is the kind of the content you'd like to watch, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. This channel and I are in its infant stages, trying to bring you my overviews, price points and alternatives where possible, as 80% of my viewers aren't still subscribed. Subscribing to my channel, watching the ads and commenting helps the algorithm and perhaps will in the long term help my channel, as we pay full retail on my perfumes. I'm not on the free bottle brigade and I don't have any means of acquiring these fragrances otherwise. Spoiler alert, this is by far one of the best frankincense compositions in my humble opinion, besides Nuit de Fa by the house of Louis Vuitton, composed by the very own in-house perfumer Jacques Cavalier. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, in a dark blue bottle. And the Dawn being my ultimate favorite frankincense fragrance from the house of Frag-rant, composed by Carlos Ben Naim from their Middle Eastern collection. And by the way, they have a new edition. Frag-rant has a new edition to the Middle Eastern collection, where there's a total of 5 fragrances, out of which I own 4 at the moment. So the name of that perfume is Hope, and is classified as an amber woody fragrance for both men and women. It's a new fragrance. It was just recently launched, I suppose about within a week. The nose behind this fragrance is Dominic Ropion. Top notes are pink pepper, juniper. Middle notes are smoke, oud and vetiver. Base notes are amber and leather. Seems like a must buy for the channel, but is currently exclusive to Arabs only, and the reps I know at Frag-rant here have said that it will become available for the United Arab Emirates market in September only. So if you want yours, you'd have to pay about 3.6, say about $1,000 USD plus 175 shipping. Makes sense if you'd like to order more from Harrods, as shipping remains the same. So perfumes like Oud Stallion from Maison Crivelli, which has not made it here, is exclusive to Harrods. Comes in that green hue bottle that Harrods is well known for. Rude Oud by the house of Fragrance du Bois also is a Harrods exclusive, etc. You might want to purchase them together, as shipping costs will remain unchanged. The main ingredient here, or the main note used here, is frankincense, also known as olibanum, also known as Loban in the United Arab Emirates, Oman and other places. It's a resin. So the story goes, the 3 kings famously presented frankincense as one of the gifts to baby Jesus. That's how far back frankincense goes. The other gifts were, of course, myrrh, another fragrance ingredient, and gold. Guess that's how much it weighs in actual worth. Also known as olibanum, frankincense is actually a resin from the Boswellia sacra tree, which grows in Dhofar area of Oman as well as Yemen. There are also forests of it in northern Ethiopia, although ecologists report that production of the resin could decline by half over the next 15 years, as those forests are systematically cut down to make way for agriculture. That's sad. Once exclusively reserved for kings and queens, frankincense has been used in religious ceremonies, burial rituals and for embalming, including for mummification. It clearly has extraordinary preservative powers, able to preserve skin for millennia. It's burned today in Catholic churches and Anglican high churches ceremonies, and perhaps as a result, it's a love it or hate it ingredient, depending on whether they were forced to sit through endless sermons and hymns on Sundays. Frankincense is incredibly powerful as an ingredient. So it's only generally used in teensy doses, except in perfumes designed to conjure up the smell of actual incense, but it also works brilliantly as a fixative. Around 13% of all perfumes apparently contain at least trace elements of frankincense. Royal Hojari frankincense resin. Royal Hojari frankincense, Boswellia sacra, is the resin from the youngest trees harvested in the Dhofar desert, that's in Oman. It has the finest aroma of all frankincense resins. This is the very resin reserved for the Sultan of Oman, and what we believe was presented to the Christ child by the Magi. Fruity, balsamic, sweet incense, but it's a dry experience. This is what I get on the initial spray. Older bottles are hard to come by and sell for a hand and a leg on eBay, which I'd not like to source, though I'm a collector and I would love to have the older bottles. The cap, the color of the cap, the stones, the jewels represent the colors of Oman, as we discussed. The same for the United Arab Emirates. There has been a repackaging, sigh of relief. The juice remains the same, and that's what we are paying for. Top notes of grapefruit and bergamot, a heart rich with raspberry, beautifully accentuating the fruity nuances from the top notes, but does not give away. The grapefruit and bergamot does not give away a generic like citrusy opening. Typical blending magic, as with all other Roja creations. Rose de May, jasmine, violet, a base of cardamom, elemi, that's another resin, saffron, gurjun balsam, oak moss, cedar, gaiac wood, amyris, sandalwood, and carrot seeds. The raspberry stays till the curtains fall. Orris root, olibanum, musk, and birch, base heavy as always. Lasts a magnificent 7 to 8 hours, eventually becoming a skin scent. However, if you know about incorporating real incense into fragrances will affect the longevity, in which it diminishes within the first 2 to 3 hours of spraying. A perfect example I could give you is from the house of Armani Privé, and the name of the fragrance is Body Encens. The most realistic incense, but dissipates faster than you may read the note listings on the fragrance. This one could definitely do with being stronger in the dry down, but like I said, using real frankincense smells authentic and sublime, but may affect longevity and sillage. Upon initial spray, it's monstrous, but up close it shimmers much like the chandeliers at the Roja Dove Hot Perfumerie on the 6th floor at the Harrods. So as I was saying, without trying to deviate from the review, up close it shines and lingers in the air. It's bewitching, dark, brooding, mysterious, dressed up vibes much similar to UAE. The scent is a compliment magnet unlike any other. Very mysterious, fruity, with a perfect contrast is frankincense coupled with birch, labdanum, making it a very intriguing composition. Dry, balsamic, resinous, cigarette-like ashy composition. So let's talk a little about birch in perfumery. It's mainly birch oil derived from the heated birch tar that's used. It's a golden colored oil with a strong woody scent. Birch tar is obtained by dry distillation of the tree's bark. It has an intense smoky odor and is often used in small quantities to give perfume a base note. Labdanum, derived from the cistus plant, also known as rock rose, plays a significant role in perfumery. Here's what you need to know. Origin and harvesting. Labdanum is obtained from a sticky brown resin found in the leaves of the cistus plant. These plants grow in inhospitable, dry locations across the Mediterranean, North Africa, and the Middle East. Historically, labdanum was collected from the coats and the beards of the sheep and goats that grazed on these shrubs. Nowadays, it's extracted using solvents or by boiling the branches. Its aroma and uses. Labdanum imparts a warm, intense scent, often evoking notes of amber, caramel, and balsamic aromas. It serves as a base note in perfumery, adding depth and warmth to fragrance compositions. Labdanum can be found in various olfactory families, including shapers. oriental, aromatic, and hesperidial. Fixative properties. Labdanum acts as a fixative, helping other fragrance ingredients remain true and long lasting. Its warm and complex resin may be perceived as leathery or honey-like with hints of plum. Interestingly, labdanum mimics the scent of ambergris, which is no longer widely used due to its origin from endangered sperm whales. Next time you encounter labdanum in perfumes, you'll know its fascinating backstory. Perfume inspired by art, driven by passion, spice bazaar, enigmatic, smoky. It's like burning real frankincense and oud chips. Doesn't come off medicinal, cheap like raw materials in any way. Leathery, burnt hide, musky, animalic the Roja way. Resinous, slightly ambery but not fruity, floral. Does not go there. I guess the musky hints of the animalics by the use of cumin that Roja does ever so perfectly. A cumin bomb that he made early back in I think 2010-2011, inspired by Mitsuko from the House of Guerlain and the ballet impresario Diaghilev was one such fragrance that was more challenging. Beautiful composition by the House of Roja. The king of frankincense. So I consider Oman to be the king of frankincense. Is what basically put Oman on the map and attracts large amounts of tourists and expeditions wandering Oman territory, as it's the best breeding grounds for the same. You have frankincense from different regions, but for me Oman is king and has been for thousands of years. No notes, as with all other Roja compositions, stand out here. They are blended to perfection and come together like a bittersweet symphony. The elemi resin has lemony nuances, giving this dark composition a contrasting brightness. Not to mention, frankincense can also be attributed for lemony-like facets. The highest quality comes from the Dhofar Valley in Oman, referred to as the silver frankincense or hojari, and perhaps inspired the brand Ojar from Oman. So it's now Ojar, Amwaj and Oman Luxury, the three niche fragrance houses from Oman. As mentioned earlier, it can be meditative and was used, probably still is, in church as well. Olibanum dates back centuries, where it was used as toothpaste and even chewing gum. Egyptians would heat the resin and use it to fix vases. It was used in weddings, birth ceremonies, and other joyous ceremonies, as earlier mentioned in the review. Fun fact, whenever Romans would win wars, they burned so much that the entire city would be filled with its magical aroma for weeks to come. The entire city. Just imagine how much frankincense they'd be burning. Egyptians would burn frankincense in the mornings, myrrh in the afternoons. Myrrh is another resin that we discussed, and in the nights, a mixture of myrrh, frankincense, and other materials, and termed it kifi. So valuable has it been at times in ancient history that it has been equal in weight value to gold. During times of scarcity, its value rose even higher than that. It has been used throughout history as a perfume, incense, and medicine. We shall close by reading out Roja's insight on the fragrance, and starts by introducing the scent as a souk in Muscat. Souk means marketplace. As I mentioned earlier, spice bazaar. Take a journey back in time to an ancient and mystical land where all the riches of the souk are laid out for the senses to enjoy. Beneath a blazing orange sun, an endless sea of stalls offer a plethora of local wares. Wandering through this maze of delights, a cacophony of scents fill the air. Aromas of teas, fruits and spices mixed with leather goods and sun-baked papyrus as frankincense and oud burn in bakhurs. The sense of adventure one feels when they spritz Oman is impossible to resist. Key ingredients mentioned on the website are orange, saffron, sandalwood, oud, papyrus, frankincense. We shall get into the presentation right now. This is the beautiful packaging for the Sultanate of Oman. I'll try to hide and show you the best angles possible. That's the front face of the presentation. That's on the either sides. I suppose it's the palace for the Sultanate of Oman. On the back side it says a fragrance by Roja. Beautiful presentation as always. This is how I keep most of my Middle Eastern collection, in the place I store my fragrances in. That's the bottle, adorned with the beautiful jewels. As I mentioned, the earlier versions obviously have the colors of Oman reflecting on the cap. That's the plaque of the Sultanate of Oman, and it says that in the Arabic writing as well. It's a beautiful presentation. The bottle is beautiful. The sprays, as with all other Roja fragrances, are pressure spray atomizers. It is meditative. Today is a Friday, and for us Muslims, it's kind of the master of all days. It's the perfect day to wear the fragrance to the mosque for my Jummah prayers, and inshallah I'll see you soon with the review. Do share your experiences and don't forget to comment. Feel free to ask any questions and I'll try to answer them to the best of my capability. Until the next time, your host signing out, Karamullah Kadwani.